Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to the Learnabout for Google Secrets. Give me a quick hand raise or thumbs up in the chat, something so I know that you guys can hear me okay. Oh, look at that. Hands are flying up all over town. That's great. Thank you so much. All right, I am going to share my screen with you. And share. Okay. So you should be seeing my Learn About Google Secrets slide deck. I will come back to the chat real quick, and I am going to throw the link to the slide deck in there. I also have a bit.ly link at the end of the slide deck I will be showing later. So if people come in and they don't see it, I will be sharing that. But if anyone wants to take a look at the slide deck is free and able for you to be used. If you are going to be sharing this information, please help yourselves. Okay, so welcome to Learn About Google Secrets. My name is Olivia Morris and I'm your presenter. I work for MetroNet. We are located in the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities are Minneapolis and St. Paul of Minnesota. I know a lot of you are not from Minnesota, so I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. And MetroNet is a multi-county, multi-type library organization. So multi-county means we cover a wide area. We cover the Twin Cities metropolitan area, which is 7 counties, including the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. And then multi-type means that we cover libraries of all types. So public, academic, school, and special libraries are all covered under our banner. And what we do is we provide services, training, networking, continuing education, and events for our member libraries. So if you are within our multi-county area, you can apply to be a member and have access to our resources and our services, including scholarship funds that we offer as well. So that is where I come from and what I do. I see I already have something in the Q&A. I'm going to hit on that real quick. The host has disabled chat. Well, not on purpose. I didn't disable the chat. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. I do not see where I would fix that. Let me see. Attendees can chat with everyone. Let's try that. Now, whomever typed that in there, give it a try and see if it works. Okay, look at that. Now the chat is flowing. So just to be on the safe side, here is that link to the doc, because it might not have come through if you weren't able to use the chat. So that is the link to the slide deck that I am working from right now. Thank you to whomever pointed that out. All right. So I feel a little bit derailed by that. That's okay. Anyway, I was explaining what MetroNet was. That's what I was doing. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware. So the Learnabout series came from a question from one of our members. They wanted to know if there was possibly going to be some sort of training where they could learn more about XYZ product. And they had specific examples. I don't remember them now. And I thought, what a great idea. I'm the program manager for MetroNet. So I started thinking about ways that we could access that. And we came up with this, the Learnabout series, where each month we tackle a different product and explain it and let people learn how to use it. We record them. They're available via the MetroNet YouTube channel. There's a link to that at the end of the slide deck. And it's been a really rousing success. We had 175 people registered for today's event. So I think, to be perfectly honest, I think that's because I put secret in the title. So there's my professional tip. If you want to get people to attend your event, put secret in the title, then everyone wants to come. So that's what we've been doing. We've been mostly with the Google Suite. We've done Drive, we've done Calendar, we've done Forms and Docs, Sheets. We've done pretty much all of the big Google products. And I thought, there's a lot of stuff in Google that when I've spent time researching these other ones, I came across all these neat things, and I had a doc that I was keeping. And I thought, I bet that would be fun if I put them all in one place, like the fun things that I haven't had a chance to share. So that's what we're going to do today. Some Google secrets, some useful, some just for fun, but I thought you might enjoy them. So I see some chats and Q&As, and I am going to come to those at the end. I kind of want to keep rolling with this just because there's a lot to cover and I want to make sure we get to it, but I'll make sure to save time for those at the end. If you do have questions as we're going, go ahead and use that Q&A or that chat feature, and I promise we will come back to them. So who am I? I already mentioned that. I'm Olivia, one more time, and I do the Learnabout series for MetroNet. I have done all of them so far. However, in January, our next Learnabout in January, we're going to be doing Canva. Canva is a great little tool that you can use to create graphics. So you can do banners or logos or all sorts of things, infographics. I mean, it's really, really a very useful tool, and it can be used in a lot of different ways. And I will say it's not my area of expertise, but I have a friend who's a librarian who said, I'm an expert at Canva. So she is going to be presenting on Canva in January. So that is something to look forward to. And then our next series, February, March, April, and May for the spring sessions. I actually don't have those done yet. I haven't determined. I have a couple of ideas, but I thought, you know what might be fun if I ask this group. So since you guys are my final Learnabout of the year, I thought I'd put it out there. If there's something that you want to learn, as mentioned, we did most of the Google products. I will certainly go deeper if that's what you want. If you like, I want the nitty gritty of Google Docs, let me know and I'll do that. Otherwise, if there's another product like Canva or something that you are interested in, please let me know. And you can throw that in the chat or the Q&A, and I will be happy to add those to the upcoming events. So you can find out more about the Learnabout series, including ones we have already completed and links to the YouTube channel where you can view those on the MetroNet website, which is metrolibraries.net. And then the events and programs tab is where you will find all of that information that is linked here in the slide deck. What we're going to be talking about today, I have broken down the secrets into 3 parts. So the secrets of the G Suite, secret products, and fun secrets. I will say this, I mentioned earlier, as I've been preparing for the previous Learnabouts that I have done, I had this document of all these fun things like, oh, I came across this in my research and I should add that. And then I thought I was also going to go back and like, here's the couple of things from Google Docs that I pointed out that I thought would be really useful. And they're kind of secrets because I was sharing them and nobody really knew about them. So that was the plan. But then as I started preparing this, I'm like, oh, that would be way too long. We'd be here for hours. So I actually cut everything that I've done before. So you'll actually have to go back and watch those. I was hoping this would kind of be like a shortcut for you, but nope, you're going to have to go back and watch those previous videos if you want to see those. Everything today will be new. Most everything today will be new. It's stuff that I haven't really touched on before. So that's what we're going to look at, those 3 sections, and then I will take questions and I will mention future events. Here's your first secret if you're ready. You guys seem ready. I think you're ready. You will notice that these are linked. The particular slides seem to have a link on them, and you can actually in Google Slides, you can link to other slides. That is something I found out that people really don't know. They think that a link has to be to like an outside website or something, but it does not. So I've actually, if you're navigating through this, I've linked the secrets of the G Suite to the actual slide, secrets of the G Suite. So if you click on it, it jumps right to that. So it's actually useful if you're doing a presentation and you do find that you're going back and referring to something that you had said earlier. Here's a chart that I want to show you one more time. You can put a link right on that page to that slide and just jump back and forth rather than navigating, you know, tab by tab going back and forth. So there's your first secret. You can link to slides. So we will stay with that link and go to the next slide, which is secrets of the G Suite. So to begin, we have in Google Chrome as your web browser. Navigating with through tabs without a mouse, and then you do that through using control and a number. So I am going to jump over to my web browser. I'm in my web browser right now. I'm not jumping anywhere. I'm staying right here. And I'm going to move that dock down just so you can actually see up here on the top. And I am going to show you, these are the tabs that I actually have open right now. So I have a bunch of tabs you can see on the left. And then the way that you navigate them, so normally I would do it by mouse, and most of you do. And then what if your mouse doesn't work? Or what if whatever, your hands are full doing something else? I don't know. But if you want, you can navigate by hitting the control and then hitting a number. So on your keyboard, I am doing it right now, and I'm betting you're all sitting there thinking, what's happening? Nothing is happening. Isn't that so weird? I have 2 computers. This computer right now that I'm working on, which is a Windows, and the other one, which is a Chromebook. And I was practicing this morning on the Chromebook, and it worked no problem. But it is really sincerely not working on the Windows. I assumed that was universal. Look at that. It's like I'm learning right here while we're talking about it. So I'm wondering if that is not specific to Google. You guys feel free to try that at home and let me know if it's just something on my Windows computer that is not working, but you should be able to control on a computer and then a number. So control 2 will jump you to tab 2, or control 4 will jump you to tab 4 in your tabs. And then on a Mac, you would use the command key rather than the control key. So command 3, and you would jump to that tab, except I can't. So there's a good embarrassing one to start out with. But I'm going to assume that worked for everyone else, and maybe I've got to change some setting. I wonder if it has anything to do with this vertical tab list, which I just switched to recently. I used to have my tabs along the top, as most people do, but I recently switched. Windows gave me the opportunity to switch and do a tab list on the left-hand side, and I've really been enjoying it. But I'm wondering if that feature is a reason why I can't navigate with the keyboard. So that's a possibility. So the next one I want to show you is creating an email from the Omnibar, which just occurred to me that I should probably explain the Omnibar. So I'm going to open up a new tab, and we're going to visit google.com. So google.com, many people call this right here in the center of the page, they call that the search bar. And I don't know why you wouldn't, because that is its primary function. However, the Google search bar does so very many things that they actually call it the Omnibar. Omni meaning all. It does all of the things. So, so through the Omnibar, you can actually type. Now I'm like all nervous this isn't going to work because I am not on the Chromebook. Nope, nothing. Well, this is a bummer. I'm thinking it's only these couple that are going to work. If somebody's on a Chromebook, give that one a try. So what it's supposed to do, boy, it's never fun when these things don't work out. And I should have practiced on the one that I do. I will say the Chromebook, fabulous though it may be, and I love it, and I use it for almost everything, but it does not do well with Zoom. Zoom and Chrome are not close friends at all. And I just find that I have limited features and it's just not working for me. So I use Zoom on the Windows laptop that I'm on right now, and yet I appear to have lost a lot of the Google functionality. Although I like seeing my name in public library, Olivia Public Library. That is a city in Minnesota, by the way, Olivia, Minnesota, in case anyone is not from around here and they did not know that, as you're looking at that result up there on the screen. So let me jump back here. So what that is supposed to do is if you are in your Google Chrome, and you know what? I just had a thought. I will switch to the Chrome browser. Ha ha ha. Now we're talking. I bet that's the problem that not the other thing. And if someone said that in the chat and they're like, oh, she finally caught up, that's what it is. So mail to colon, and then the email address of the person you want to send it to. That's my own email address. It's very long. There we go. And always use this app because I've never done it before, and hit OK. Hey, it worked. Look at that. A silent round of applause for me because I figured out my own problem. I was using the Windows search engine, not the Google search engine. I needed to be in Google Chrome. So what that does, as you just saw, from the Chrome Omnibox, so that's your search box at the top, typing in the words mail to and colon and space, and then type in the email address of the person that you want to do. And when you do that, it launches your mail program without you having to launch it first. And it sets up your outgoing email with that person's email address already pre-pasted in the to box for you. So it like cuts out like 3 steps in the mail. It might not be a huge thing, but I just thought that's kind of a thing that you don't really hear. So if you're working in your inbox and you're like, oh, I got to send, or you're working in your tabs in your browser and you're like, I got to send this email. You don't have to switch and jump over to a new tab and launch a new mail. You can actually do it right there from your Omnibox. So, hey, look at that. Did you see me switching between those? I'm not using the mouse. Yes, see how I figured that out. I'm so proud of myself. So yes, you can navigate between your tabs if I have multiple open. So hit right now I'm on tab 3. I'm gonna hit Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, Control 2, Control 3, and it just jumps between them. So hey, look at that. So for those of you who pointed that out in the chat, thank you. And now that one is up and running. So let's jump back over here to my presentation. So that is the navigating tabs and creating an email from your browser. Also in your Chrome browser, there are a few other things that we can do here. So one is the incognito tab. This is something that I found not a lot of people know about, and I don't know why. I mean, I think it's a really useful tool. So in the upper right-hand corner, these 3 vertical dots, which I've heard called the stoplight, a lot of people refer to it that way. So if you select that, you will see that you can create a new incognito window. So when I open that up, now you can see that my screen has gone incognito. What does this mean? I will say right up front, it doesn't mean that no one can access your information. So your boss can still see it if it's an organization you're working through, et cetera. Your incognito tabs are not private. What they do is they prevent tracking. So it actually says this information on the screen here, but if you find that you don't care for all of those cookies and for people who are tracking what you're looking at, and then you get those banner ads that are related to it and it frustrates you or worries you or whatever the case may be, you can browse or work in an incognito tab and you will find that it doesn't save that information and you lose that tracking ability. So I will say this is a little secret for me to use. Some websites, I should probably not be saying this because I think it's very important that we are accessing information appropriately. However, sometimes I have found I want to see something that's behind a paywall, and occasionally if you open that paywall in an incognito tab, you can view that information. So it is a possibility that you could do that as well. That's a little secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right. Back over here, we also have in Chrome the name window, reopen tabs, and pin tabs. So these are 3 things that people don't realize that they can do in the Google Chrome browser, but they are useful, and I'm going to show them to you right now. So this space, there's plus sign here gives me a new tab. Let me close these other tabs that are open because we don't need them. So the plus side is what I get a new tab. To the right of that in this empty space here, if you right click on that, you get this miniature menu, and through here, you have the ability to reopen any closed windows. So if you accidentally, and I know you've done this, everyone in the world has done this, you click on a tab and you go to close something and you actually get a little overzealous and you close the wrong thing and you're like, I was working on that. Now I need to navigate back. You can actually reopen it and it'll pop it right back to where it was just by clicking this. So that's right click in the area, the free space to the right. Google refers to that as the file section. So like if you think of an old document where you'd navigate and you'd go file new, that's kind of what they're referring to this as, their file section. And you can reopen a closed window there. You can also name your windows. So if I do this, I have a window open with an incognito tab. I have, like if I'm working on a specific project, I will have a window for that. And then I will have all the tabs that are related to that search. And then I start a new window if I have a different project so that my tabs aren't crossing over and I'm not getting confused between what's what. So you can actually name those windows. So I could give it the project name of Learnabout for one of them. And I could give the next one project name, continuing education, whatever it is that I'm doing, and name my windows so that when I am looking traveling between my windows, I can select them by the name of the window. It's just an organizational tool. It's not vital, but it is useful. I have found if you are a tab person like I am, I always have a million windows, a million tabs. I just really enjoy the versatility I can get there. I would rather open something new than navigate in a tab that I already have open. So name the window. Additionally, if you have your tabs open and you've gone to something, we'll just click on this one just so I have something open here, the Google Translate page. So I have multiple, and I find that I'm actually going to be, I'm working in a document, I'm going to be translating a lot of things. And so I don't want to accidentally close this one. What you can do is in this tab, stay out of the file section, stay in the tab itself, right click, and there's an additional little tiny menu for that. And in this one, we have the ability to pin. I'm going to pin this tab. And now it jumped over here to the far left. That's for organizational purposes. You don't have to search through to find it. It will always be as far left as you can go, what you have pinned. And then if I am working in this one and need to get back to it, hit the far left and it stays put so that you can always find it. So that is a very useful little tool, the pinning of your tabs. All right, I did say I was going to take questions at the end, but I'm seeing like craziness happening in the Q&A in the chat. So I'm going to stop here for just a second before I move to the next section and see what's up. Still can't see my screen. Interesting. Wow, you guys, I'm so sorry. Good thing I stopped now rather than all the way at the end when you're all like, wow, we saw nothing. How am I fixing that? Would be how I would fix that. Can I do both of them? Share. Okay. Can you see it now? Thumbs up, yes, no, something in the comments chat. Yes, 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 yes. Now we see it. Now we see it. Okay. Hold that thought. I'm jumping back over to the slides. Can you also still see the slides? Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Okay. 20 minutes in and we have had technical difficulties galore and love that. So real quick, I'm going to jump back here and show you. Let me see what we're doing here. There are all comments about that. I'm going to close the Q&A just to make sure that that we've got it all. Not both at the same time. Okay, I was not intending for you to see both at the time. I'm jumping back and forth. So when I'm kind of referencing the slide deck so that you guys can see what's on there, but then I have been working in the Chrome, So real quickly, I want to recap. I know you guys heard what I said, but when I was talking about the file section, so here's the plus where you do a new tab. To the right of that, all of this blank area, because I have very minimal tabs open, this is what they call the file section. A right click here gives you that reopen close window and that name window option. Okay. In a tab, an actual tab themselves, right clicking on the tab gives you that pin option. So I know you couldn't see those before, but now you saw that. And then the other thing that I showed was the stoplight. So on the right-hand side of the screen, the little 3 dots here, which again, I've heard referred to as the stoplight. If you click on that, you can get your new incognito, okay? And that's where you can go without the tracking. So I really do apologize for that. All right, so I'm going to close out the incognito window. I do not need it open. I also mentioned earlier the mail to, and I'm guessing you guys didn't see that either. So real quick, so in your Omnibox, so your search box at the top, you type in the words mail, spell it correctly though, mail to : and then the email address, olivia@metronet.lib.mn.us, and then hitting enter launches your mail program and gives you a new email with that email address that you just typed already populated in the to field. And I see a lot of these browser checks can be done on any browser too, so these can apply to any browser you're using. I will say some of them, it was not working for me in the Windows browser that I was using, the Microsoft Edge browser. So I did not try it in Firefox. It should work it might work in Safari. It will work in Google Chrome. So please definitely check that out. And now somebody said you can't have the space after the mail to. You can actually have the space after the mail to. I had a space in there and it overlooks it. So the space is allowed. Okay, so jumping back to this. All right, so I covered navigating without the mouse, the control plus the number for jumping through your tabs in Chrome, the compose from the Omni, the incognito mode, name window, reopen tabs, and pin tabs. So let's take a look at some of the Google products that you may have never heard of. And you may have heard of some of them and just not known what they were, or you've never used them, or you've looked in your Google Chrome and thought, oh, I've seen that before, but I didn't know what it was. Or maybe you're an expert. If that's the case, well, yay for you. And please share your information with the rest of us. So these are the ones that I came up with. There are a lot. Google does a lot of things. It's like, I sometimes feel like that'd be a really cool job to be like a Google product designer, you know, like, hey, let's try this. But I don't know if I have the right creativity for that. But here we go. So Google Keep is one that I came up with. That's Google's note-taking feature. And if you've never used that, that's completely fine. So I do want to jump back over here. I do not want the incognito tab. I'm going to close that one. Boop. I just want my regular Google. So here is another little secret. I actually mentioned this in many of them, but I'm going to share this one with you today. If you want to access one of Google's products, so Google tends to name things as followed. They give it the name Google and then the name of the product. Then for the address of the product or to find that product, they give you the name of the product first.google.com. For example, Google Docs, okay? Google comes first, then Docs. The address, if you want to go to Google Docs, is docs.google.com, okay? That is a uniform format for all Google products. I'm going to jump back over to this really quick because I thought you might be able to visualize that. So Google Keep is the name of this product. Google first, then the name of the product, but the address is keep.google.com. I left the .com off just because it didn't always fit in some of these, and frankly, I feel like it's implied. So keep.google.com is how you navigate to Google Keep. So if you want to open that up, you could go into your Omnibox and you type in keep.google.com. Verify it's me. In case you weren't signed in, I use multiple Google accounts. So and there we are. And this is my particular Google Keep account. So I have different notes in here for various things. Some are scribbles that I use when I'm entertaining my young nieces and nephews. I'm like, here, play with my Google Keep. They can start a note, and I have a touchscreen laptop, so they're drawing and coloring and things like that. And then I would do various, save links, etc. It's a note-taking app. Okay. The secret that I was telling you, and this works for pretty much every Google product. If you want to start a new one, so in case I want a new note, I want to take a note, I'm listening to a presentation or something and I want to take a note, rather than open up Google Keep by going to keep.google.com or navigating to your Google products, whatever the case may be, you can at any time go to the Omnibar and type in keep.new. And when you do that, it takes you to your particular Google Keep and gives you a brand new note to start. Skips a lot of steps. This works, as I said, for most Google products. So let's do, for fun, sheets.new. And I will type that in. And just like that, I have myself a brand new spreadsheet. This is a secret that I told when I did the Google Docs, when I did Google Sheets, when I did Google Slide, because it works for all of them. It saves you from having, so if you're just opened your device for the day and you want to immediately start, you can just open up your browser and type in sheets.new. And it will give you a brand new, and whatever account you're signed into is the account that it is for. So you will notice this is my Google account here. So it just defaults to that. So it's going to be saved in my Google Drive under my account. If you are automatically signed in, you get that. So that is a fun and useful little tool. So Google Keep, I'm going to come back here. So like I said, this is note taking. So I can give it a title. I can pin the note if I'm going to be in and out of this and I want to keep it handy. And then I can simply come in here and I can type, notes about whatever. So you can type, you can do that. You can add images, you can collaborate with someone. So if you're with a colleague and you're taking notes at a conference presentation or something and you want to share, you can collaborate and both add notes, add images, color it, paint it. There's a lot of fun things that you can do. And I'm not going to spend time. I'm probably going to do a Google Keep Learnabout at some point, so I'm not going to spend a time in here, but here's the one that I want to tell you. First of all, Google Keep in and of itself is a well-kept secret. There's not a lot of people who know about it, but it is a useful tool. The one that I like is this farthest left tool here on my new note where it says remind me. And if you click that, you can see you can get a lot of different reminder options. I have to move my dock again for a second. And the bottom one is pick place. Here's what I like about this, okay? I was reading about this and I tried it and it did work for me because all of my various devices are signed into the same Google account. Wherever I am, they're all signed into my Olivia at Metronet account. So for this, including my phone. So for this particular one, I'm going to do pick place. It's not actually going to work. I'm going to allow them to know my location. And then I'm going to choose a location and I'm going to say Trader Joe's, and this is the one nearest to my office. So we'll just do that. and I will hit save. And now it's got a location of Trader Joe's. So instead of notes about whatever, we're going to call this one grocery list. And then I'm going to type in what I need: bread, milk, eggs, cheese. That's what I need at the grocery store. It's not at all what I need at the grocery store, but still. And I'm going to go ahead and close it. Now, what will happen is I'm going to leave this laptop at home, but I'm out running around town, and then I quick swing into Trader Joe's. My phone, if it's with me, when I enter Trader Joe's, is going to pop up a notification because I allow my notifications. A lot of people don't. If you don't allow notifications, this won't help you. But if you do allow notifications, when I walk into that Trader Joe's, it's going to know that I'm at the location that the reminder is set for. And the reminder is going to pop up on my phone screen. So what will pop up is grocery list and the things that I typed in as soon as I walk into the store, or actually usually when I get into the parking lot, because it knows I'm there. But it gives me an automatic way of getting my grocery list. You could use it for a lot of things. That's just kind of the fun example. Something people don't know you can do with Google. So, all right, let's leave the doc there for a minute. No, I lied. The doc is in the way again. And I want to show you what's next. So Google Sky is what is next. Google Sky. Close a lot of this and use this one. So for this one, I'm just going to type the name just so you can see. I could have typed sky.google.com, but I left just the name. So I'm going to pull this up so you can see. You are looking at an actual image of the sky taken from one of several products that are accessible through this. Okay. If you want to know if you're a space person and this is your jam, in the upper right-hand corner, it says About Google Sky. If I click on that, it tells you in the frequently asked, what am I looking at? So what is the actual thing that I am seeing on the screen, and a bunch of other questions. So you can find out where this is coming from, what, you know, I know some of it comes from like the Hubble telescope, and I'm assuming other things. I am not a space person. I like looking at it, but my knowledge of it is fairly limited. In addition to Google Sky, which is just a way to check in and see, you know, see what the world looks like. There's the ability to link to it. They also have in the upper left-hand corner, Google Moon. Click, click, click. And you are looking at an actual image of the surface of the moon. I am going to just zoom out just so you can see the clarity on this is amazing. And then I'm going to go back to zooming in and go further than they brought us in the first time. And really, it's just remarkable how close we can get to see the surface of the moon. And there it's kind of pixelated. You can't really see it that well, but so ability to kind of jump around and see the moon. There are some other things. Again, here's the About in the upper right-hand corner, and it will tell you what kind of information and give you an explanation for all of those little details that I would not be able to explain. And last but not least, Google Mars. So if you want to see more about Mars, and I'm not really sure what we're looking at here, but there's an infrared view. Here's your visible view of Mars. And again, with the zoom features and the About in the upper right-hand corner. So very cool things that you can look at on here that you can kind of navigate around and play with. But I think, you know, it's not something that I was aware of. And I don't know if everybody's aware of this. If you work on something with, you know, science, with kids, whatever, those are things that might be helpful to know. So that is Google Sky, Google Moon, and Google Mars. Next up, Google Fonts. Google Fonts is one that I think is very useful. So, fonts.google.com. And welcome to Google Fonts. So what this is Google maintains a database of fonts. So there are just so many of them in here that you can scroll through and see. I'm not going to do that all day long because I, first of all, would make everyone dizzy if you had to watch this. And there are just thousands and thousands of them. These are font families, and there are 1,400. Okay. You can practice, you can search if you want to name a font, you can practice a sentence, so you can put it in there to see what it's going to look like. If you know what you need it to look like at the end or the words that are going to be in there, it might help you to do that. But these are free and available for anyone. So you can download these fonts and save them into your computer and use them in what your Google Doc. You want to change your fonts in your Google Doc because you don't like the ones that are in there, et cetera, et cetera. So it's something that I think people don't know, that it's just sitting out there waiting to be used, and not that many people use it. You can change the size up here. So if you want to see what they look like bigger, you can. I don't know on what you would use a 163 point font, but you never know. Stranger things have occurred. So just a fun little database, something to be aware of. All right, next up is Google Arts and Culture. I enjoy Google Arts and Culture. Google Arts and Culture is another little region that Google has kind of curated some things together. So new to this from the first time that I saw it is this color in a masterpiece. If you are the kind of person who likes to color digitally, because I mean, I suppose maybe you could print these out, but you can actually come in here and you can color in these different documents. You can see all of the tools that you can use to do this and to create your own artwork. But in addition to that, there are so many things. There's a newsletter that you can get if you want. And do we want to travel around and look at something? Maybe you want to visit the Acropolis in Greece. And then here are more information about this. You can look through, you can see these amazing buildings that you don't even have to leave your home. So there's a lot of fun things in here. You can explore, famous works of art, artists. There's this is timely as well, the World Cup, if you have interest in that. Top picks, so delightful depictions of dance. And then you can see them and kind of scroll through and spend some time playing with these works of art, read more information about them. There's sound available on some, not all, so that you can listen to them, etc. So really just so much, like you could spend a lot of time digging around. So today in history, etc. Video games, there's a lot of stuff in here. I mean, arts and culture is a huge topic, and Google is well aware of that, but there's so much stuff that you can play with and learn, and would make great lessons, or just for fun, or perhaps to link to a particular training that you're doing, et cetera, et cetera. There's just some really fun information to play with in here. I'm just sort of scrolling through so you can see I'm not going to spend time on all of this. Again, I feel like this could be its own Learnabout. So that is Arts and Culture by Google. After that, we have Google Trends. So Google Trends, different from Art and Culture. Trends.google.com. So Google Trends is basically Google put it together to see what is the world interested in. So what are things, they have access to all of the data. Every time somebody goes in and types something into a Google search box, someone knows about it. They know what was searched. So Google knows at any given time what the world is interested in. What are we looking at? What are the most popular things that have been searched? So they created this Google Trends site so that you can have that information as well. So looking at this, World Cup in the past 7 days has been pretty popular. It's the majority of the world, everyone that's green has been searching the World Cup, excuse me. And then the darker colors are more searches, less searches, etc. They color code them, and you can click on these to find more information. But here's the year in search. So if you wanted to see more about what people were interested in 2022, here are your top searches for 2022 in general. Wordle, that's surprising. Maybe not. Man, Wordle's been around for a couple of years now. But anyway, Wordle, Queen Elizabeth, Betty White, Bob Saget, 3 pretty well-known deaths this year, things like that. So, and then you can see broken down into categories, news, people, actors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's all sorts of different information that can be found in here. So if you're a statistics person, or, like me, just enjoy reading lists of things, I enjoy curated lists. this is a fun place to spend some time in the Google Trends. You can search for a term or a topic and find out any information that Google has on that. And, they have information on, well, pretty much everything, because what isn't typed into a search engine at some point? So again, you can play through this. There's a lot of, here's the past year in searches. I usually look at these at the end of the year because I think it's fun to see what was, what were we interested in? What was the world interested in? So a lot of great information can be found in Google Trends. All right. Next up is Google Lens. Google Trends, Google Lens. That does kind of rhyme. I should pronounce trends a little more thoroughly, and then it probably wouldn't. So Google Lens is the ability to look at a search through visual aids. So, and I'm sure you've heard this before, people have said like, if I have this photo, how do I find information about it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what Google Lens is attempting to do, to be able to take a visual and search from that rather than having you need to put it into words. So if you go to Google's page, in the search box right here in the center of the page, on the right, first we have the microphone. In case you've looked at this a million times and never actually looked to notice this, you can search by voice. If you have a microphone on your computer or through your phone, you can select this. I have it turned off, but you can select that, and then you can speak your search term into it rather than having to type that information in. And what happened to my Google Lens? It was weird that it was gone off of the main page. There it is back. I don't know what happened there. So the Google Lens would be the same thing, searching by image. So if you click on it, you'll notice it says drag an image or upload a file. So if you see an image online, you want to know more about it, or if you have a picture. Where I've seen this used well is in like homework help for students. So you could take a photo of the equation you're working on in math and upload it in here, and it will find you information and help you figure out how to solve that equation. Things like that. I had a friend ask me once, do you have any idea who made that picture? Like it was a painting or something that we saw in a restaurant. And I was like, no. So we took a photo of it with my phone and we uploaded it into Google Lens and looked, and we did find out whose art it was. So a couple of practical examples for Google Lens. I'm not going to show it here, but you can definitely, and you should, try out and play with it. And then if you look at the Google Lens site, so Google Lens is integrated with the Omnibox. It is there to be searched. But if you look at their site, it basically tells you things that they think you can do. So homework help is on there. Identify plants and animals. That'd be useful, I would think. I've often thought, oh, what a pretty tree. I wonder what kind of tree that is. So next time I think that, I'm going to try it with Google Lens and see if it works. So different things that you can try with Google Lens. There is an app for it for your phone and for Android as well. So that is Google Lens. And the last one on here is Jamboard. If you are not familiar with Jamboard, it is Google's answer to the whiteboard craze. I know since we've all been online more, whiteboards have become increasingly popular in various, Zoom has a whiteboard, and Google Meet's got a whiteboard, and there's independent whiteboards all over town. You can find whiteboards everywhere. So Google created their own, that is Jamboard.new, just because it is one of those products not working for that, really. Jamboard.google.com. So it is working. It is working. Okay. So these are Jamboards that I have used. I use them in a lot in meetings, but I'm going to start a new one just so you can see what they look like. It's pretty straightforward. If you've ever used a whiteboard in your life, you will not find this hard to use at all. So here's your Jamboard. There's the logo in the corner. Give it a name, and then your tools down the left-hand side. So you can choose to write with your Jamboard. Have your pen. You can write. And then erase when you figure out that it's not as easy to write with a mouse and one finger as you possibly thought it was, et cetera, et cetera. You can also add a sticky note and type information on there and post that. You can share these amongst, you can collaborate using the Jamboard. It's a basic whiteboard, but in case you didn't know, Google does have one, and it is called Jamboard. So those were the secret Google products. I'm hoping that at least you found at least one that you didn't know about previously that you thought that is cool. I wish I knew more about that, or I'm going to spend more time learning more about that. And we have 16 minutes left. That'll be enough time to race through this list here, which fortunately is not a lot of tough information, just, fun things that you might want to know about. So, so the first thing is equals English. And then the second thing is LGOOG. And I am going to jump back over here, close out the Jamboard, new tab, Google Trends. Okay, so equals English. So if you've ever been in the position of someone has a large number and you're like, what number is that? And then you're trying to envision in your mind, like mentally, where do the commas go? So then you can count it out and figure out how on earth do I read this number to another person with words, not numbers. I mean, I could read it to you as 4, 3, 2, 5, 6, 8, but with words, what you do is you type in equals English. And when you do that, why did it convert? Interesting. It is converting to me to a different, and it's not supposed to do that. All right, anyone know what's going wrong here? What it's supposed to do, instead of converting, for some reason it is converting it to, and I have conversion on there, so that's helpful. I'm gonna try words and see if that makes a difference. It did, look at that. It said you were supposed to be able to just type in equals English, but perhaps the person that I read this from. So here's what this is what I'm supposed to do. English words is apparently the thing. I will change that in the slide deck. Is it breaks it down and gives you the words. So instead of me saying 4, 3, 2, 5, 6, 8, I could now read it to you as 432,568,463,215 is what the number that I randomly typed in there. So English words is what you needed for that one. Just a quick at a glance way, if you see a large number and you want to break it down into words, fun little thing that could be useful, fun to know about that they will do that. And I forgot what else I was doing. So LGOOG and timer. So you all know Google. LGOOG is Google backwards. And what it does, if you type in LGOOG, is it gives you the Google mirror. It takes Google and it reverses it. So like looking at it in a mirror. So welcome to LGOOG, the Google mirror. And what this does is it actually houses all of Google's Easter eggs. If you are part of the nerd culture, you're familiar with Easter eggs. Easter eggs are that's a common term in the fandoms all over the world. For those of you who are not, what it is basically just hidden fun things. So if you've ever watched a Star Wars movie or a superhero movie, they have all these Easter eggs hidden in. So for people who really know the culture, there's going to be like a poster hanging on the wall in the background that'll point to something that people know about that's not necessarily for that movie. Just ways to find more information or to kind of dig a little deeper or feel like you're in the know is what I understand Easter eggs to be. And Google has created tons of fun little things that they do, and then they only keep them around for so long and then they let them go. So the Easter eggs, the Google mirror or LGOOG, has put them all in one place. So it has brought them in here so that you can come and play and try looking at these different things. So, I mean, there's so many of them. Once upon a time, Google used to do this. Some of them stick around. Some of them have been popular enough. A lot of ones have not. So you can come in here and visit LGOOG to find more information. And if you click on them, so the underwater search experience, this is what it used to look like. When you looked at the underwater search experience, you were searching in the ocean. So kind of a fun thing. And then there's a menu in the upper left from there that you can navigate to other Easter eggs on LGOOG. So that's what LGOOG is. The other thing we were going to do was the timer. So the timer, 5-second timer. So to get this, if you want to run a timer on something, you're like, oh, let's quickly put a clock on it. You can just come in here to your browser and hit 5-second timer. And as soon as you do that, it pops it up and it's just running the timer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I don't have the sound. I do have sound on. It didn't sound for some reason. I kind of thought you'd be able to hear it, but it didn't make a noise. It usually makes a noise as well. And then if you hit OK, it'll go to a new one. Reset goes to a new one. And you can start a new timer. You can also change those words at any time. So 1 minute timer, 1 hour timer. You can set your timer forever, 59-second timer, 42-second timer, whatever you want it to be. You just type that in and you will have access to the Google timer. So that one can be very useful. So English words, LGOOG, timer, animal sounds. A lot of these are, I'm going to do. Okay, so the animal sounds from the Omnibar. When you pull that up, I have my sound on. There we go. Apparently that is what a guinea pig sounds like. B was much better. There's your frog. So it's just can be, fun to do the different animal sounds. There are many animals that you can find. All the animals, there are just animals. So fun for children, fun if you need an example, et cetera, et cetera. Just a neat thing that Google has available, and yet they don't go around advertising these things. So the T-Rex runner and the barrel roll. So the T-Rex runner, T-Rex-runner.com. This actually, if you've ever navigated to the Google Place and Google website and seen you're not connected to the internet, so for whatever reason you can't get online through your Google, they will put this game up there in place of that. So if you can't connect to the internet, you can at least sit there and stare at the page and play a game. It's just a silly little thing. You hit your space bar and your dinosaur starts to run. You can see him running, running, running. When an obstacle's in the way, hit the space bar and he jumps until he runs into something and you die. So it's a silly little video game, but kind of a fun thing that you can see on there if you need a quick, interlude, something to play with. So that is the, and then do a barrel roll. That's another. So do a barrel roll. And when you type that in, your entire screen does a barrel roll. So that's literally all that is. But if you want to have any fun, there you go. There's your Google barrel roll. Others to look at, flip a coin, old Google in 98, and the conversion we already saw because it was popping up for the English words, but I will show it to you as again. So from your Omni roll, I want to know what is 5 US dollars in Australian dollars, which I'm guessing is AUD. And if you hit that, it just gives you an automatic conversion. It doesn't have to be money. I did money. You can do, we're going to say, what is 6 feet in hands? Okay, 6 feet is 18 hands. So you convert anything to anything. You just have to type it into your Omnibar and it will automatically convert for you. So that's a nice, useful one. And I get so carried away with these and I can't remember the things that I said. I was going to check more than one at a time. Oh, conversion and we did. So flip a coin and old Google. That's what we're going to do. Let's come back here and we'll go flip a coin. That's what I'm going to type into the Omni box. And it's automatically flipping the coin, flipping, flipping, flipping. And the coin was tails. And then right here is flip again. So if you ever need to flip a coin and you don't have one in your pocket, I don't know why you would. I never carry cash anymore. So you can flip your coin right here. And flip a coin. And then old Google is the other one. So Google was born in 1998. So we're going to type 1998. And as soon as you do that, you'll notice everything about this page looks different. This is what the original Google page looked like. Had your little search box up here, all teeny tiny. You got top 10 results, search, feeling lucky, etc. and then your search bar. So I mean, just everything about it looks different. It runs the same. They just let you see, and then at any time you can jump back to the present. But it's kind of cool, retro searching. So fun little way to look at the old Google. Okay, we have a couple minutes left. So Pac-Man Doodle, if you type that in, it shows you the Pac-Man game. Breathing exercise, if you want to do meditation. The fidget spinner, I will show you that one real quick, and the guitar tuner. So the guitar tuner is an actual tuner. If you have a guitar, Google guitar tuner. Boom, there's a tuner up here. You need to turn the microphone on. And once you have your microphone on, you can tune your guitar. Use your, I was doing air guitar, but you couldn't see it because I didn't have it up here on the camera. You can tune your guitar through that. The mindfulness exercise and the fidget tuner. So if you don't have a fidget spinner handy and you need Omnibar, Google fidget spinner. Show me the Google fidget spinner. It's usually like right there on the screen. You don't usually have to click on another thing. That's what it looks like. But anyway, it's not working and I want to make sure we have enough time. So, so the Pac-Man Doodle, if you type that in, you can actually play the Pac-Man game on your screen. The breathing exercise is if you need a little mindfulness, it gives you a 1 minute and it walks you through breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, etc. That kind of thing. So just fun little things that might be useful. And Google, like I said, they don't really go out of their way to share that information. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were able to see it. Okay, 4 minutes left. Please, if you have questions, chat, Q&A, get those up in there now. I'm going to look at them in just a second. Upcoming Learnabouts, as I mentioned, January 23rd, we're going to be doing Canva. That is our January one. February 13th is the next date after that. There is not currently a topic for that. I have a couple in mind, but if there's anything that you guys want to know, if you're like, boy, I wish she would show us about XYZ, pick a topic, pick a website, pick a tool, pick a database, pick something that you're interested in. I would be happy to share that information with you. You can either put it in the chat or Q&A now, or you can email me directly. My email address is at the bottom of the screen on the last slide. If you have access to the slide deck, olivia@metronet.lib.mn.us. Feel free to send me suggestions. I'm more than happy. Here is the bit.ly for this slide deck. If you don't have it already, I'm going to go into the chat one more time since we're here at the end and that is the slide deck, the actual. Feel free to throw that in there. And Colleen said the @ English worked for her without the English words. I don't know why it wasn't for me. It seemed like the universe was conspiring against me today since a lot of things went a little sideways, but that's okay. I feel like we got the gist of it. This session was recorded and will be on our YouTube channel. I missed that when I was talking. Past recordings, this is our YouTube channel link right here. It is in the slide deck if you all have access to that now. So if you're interested in watching any of my other presentations, you can watch those there. You can register for any of our events, all of which are free and open to the public at the MetroNet Libraries registration page, metrolibraries.net. In the chat, a lot of people saying thank you. Where is the link for the slide deck? I will go one more time with that. It is in the chat right now. And checking the queue okay, and those were all okay. If there are no questions, that is it. Thank you so much for coming. I hope that you all learned something fun or interesting today, and I hope you'll come back and visit us for future upcoming events. Happy holidays, everybody. I did the link again. A couple people in the chat are saying they aren't seeing it. I know some people are seeing it. We get it now? Okay. Great, 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 great. I don't know why that wasn't coming through for everyone. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.